All right, so this is going to be the final 3 weeks of Try 3 right here in the civil rights and social movements. 9, 10, and 11 will all be open once we get into week 9. And I'm going to take you basically through each folder and just give you kind of an overview of what we're going to be looking at. I'm not going to specifically tell you how to do each assignment. Most of them are pretty self-explanatory. Week 9 is going to be focused on the beginning of the civil rights movement. And so we're going to start kind of basically looking at some of the big leaders of the civil rights movement. There's a vocabulary assignment focused on some civil rights laws and information. Also then we'll get into a little discussion the second day about the difference between de facto and de jure segregation, which kind of sets up the argument of the differences between Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. We will have a pair deck that will be teacher-led, focusing on some of the differences between these two leaders, which then ultimately will lead to your writing of this summative essay. The pair deck takeaways will be shared in this, so if you participate and put that information in, it'll provide some notes for you. It's a good way to kind of get through the learning activity. The week 10 is then going to transfer into looking at 2 other ethnic groups that start to fight for their own civil rights, and that is Latin Americans and Native Americans, who during the mid to late 1970s begin to kind of take on some of the actions of the African American civil rights movement in the South and Northwest and East, and they kind of put them into their own movement. So we'll do kind of a similar layout where we'll do a little comparison between their movements, some vocabulary, and a quiz. And then you're going to have a pair deck again, and included with that pair deck will be an assignment where you'll have to take on the role of either a freedom fighter for the Native Americans or one of the migrant farm workers and write a little story. And then we'll follow that up with, again, there'll be a pair deck with some notes that'll help you prepare a comparison contrast essay. The Martin Luther King, Malcolm X essay is kind of similar in the fact that you're going to pick 2 people. Well, in this, you're going to look at 2 movements and apply some of the people that you researched in some of the assignments on that. And then the last week is going to focus generally on just different social movements. And this time around, we won't have like an essay summative. The last thing that you're going to do is make a campaign poster here for your summative assignment. And this is pretty much the end of the year after we get to this. There's going to be kind of this idea of the counterculture and who the different groups were, the feminist movement, very similar format, some vocabulary and a quiz. And then the second day we'll have a little video looking at Woodstock, and then this campaign poster, which is just kind of a fun little test, really easy, just making your own poster. In the past I have collected these from different students, the ones that they've made, and then I put it into kind of a bigger poster and hang it up in a poster in the room. So it's kind of one of the last little fun things to do. And other than that, we will then, after week 11, I will post the tracking sheet for the trimester, which will allow you another extra week, that last week of school, to get any assignments in or redo or retake anything. And that ultimately will be, that's it for the rest of the school year. So if you have any questions, apply to this video, or respond to me via Schoology message or email. Thank you.